Welcome to Portsmouth Now. I'm your host, Rob Lauer. Summer may be over, but that doesn't mean the good times are over. As we roll into the fall, there are still lots of great events, concerts, celebrations, exhibits, and much more taking place in Portsmouth. And on our show today, we'll give you a preview of some of them. All that's coming up right here, right now, on the September-October 2015 episode of Portsmouth Now. Welcome to the September-October episode of Portsmouth Now. We're looking at events coming up in these 2 months, and if you want to be where the party is really happening, you need to be here on the first Friday of September and of October. I'm standing in the courtyard of the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center, which is the old 1847 courthouse at the corner of High Street and Court Street. And it's empty right now because it's the middle of the week, but usually on a Friday night, there are chairs set up, there are people everywhere, there's a band playing, there's free food and wine and drink over here, and it's just a great place to be. And I'm joined now by Gail Paul, who is the curator of the Art and Cultural Center, and she can tell us all about it. Thanks for joining us, Gail.
Hi, Rob. Good to see you again.
Good to be here. So, for those who haven't been out to First Friday nights, tell us about it.
Well, we always have a concert in the courtyard, and of course, if there's rain, we have a rain location. It's our art annex. But we fill the courtyard. We've got music, and for the first Friday in September, it will be the H.M. Johnson Band. And then that will also be the opening reception for 2 exhibits that we have opening right now. And one is called Virginia Earth, Ceramic Artists, and the other is called Reflections, Mark Shatterley and Alexa Tiranen.
Okay, and on those Friday nights, it's free to get into the museum.
It's free admission into the museum. And so we always offer a lot of different events at the same time, too.
That's great. So tell us a little bit about the exhibit.
Well, the Ceramic Arts, which is just opened last Saturday, is now open. And that features 29 artists from across the state of Virginia.
Wow.
So a real variety of work, from everything from utilitarian wares to sculpture and installation.
How long is that on display?
That'll be up through October 11th.
October 11th. And then I guess everything comes down and you start preparing for Winter Wonderland.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, Gail, and telling us all about it.
Okay, thank you.
During the summer months, many of us enjoy eating fresh fruit and vegetables grown in gardens or cooking up a dinner of fresh fish that we just caught. Well, you don't have to give any of that up just because autumn is upon us. That's because the Old Town Farmers Market still takes place every single Saturday morning from now until Christmas. Come to the corner of High Street and Court Street on any Saturday morning, and you'll find vendors set up around the courtyard of the Art and Cultural Center, selling locally grown vegetables and fresh fruit, locally raised meats and dairy products, not to mention fresh, locally caught seafood. So come on out on Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. between now and Christmas. Outdoor concerts are another staple of summer fun, and at Portside and Old Town, outdoor concerts continue throughout the month of September. I'm joined by LaVor's Pace, who joined us in our last episode to tell us about a new series of concerts down at Portside called Sunset Thursdays. Thanks for coming back, LaVor's.
Great to be here.
So how are things going so far?
Well, they are going excellent. I mean, our first concert that we had kicking off Sunset Thursdays, we had over 300 people there.
Great.
The second one's canceled because of rain, but when we had the third one, we ended up having like 275, and even though it was not part of Sunset Thursdays, we had the original Rondelles there last one Friday, and it was well over 500 people there. That's so great. Portside is coming back, and we're looking forward to greater things happening with Sunset Thursdays and concerts at Portside.
Okay, now the concerts continue through September?
Through September 24th.
Okay.
You know, a wide variety of genres of music, so there'll be something for everyone. Jesse Chong will be there September 3rd, I think, which is that Thursday. But yeah, there are 4 concerts in September, and then that will conclude the series for this year, and we will start up again in June of 2016.
Okay, so people are interested in coming out on Thursdays. What time do they begin?
They begin at 6:30, from 6:30 to 8. and it's a wonderful concert series. You'll love it. It's turning out great. Council put the money there for us to do it, and we believe that they're pleased with the results, and the community is pleased with the results.
Is there seating down at the stage, or can you bring your own lawn chair?
You can bring your own lawn chairs, but of course, at the foot of Portside there, the cement stairs that are built for that purpose. Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for coming and joining and telling us all about it, and be sure to check out Sunset Thursdays. Many people wouldn't consider their summer complete without finding that perfect beach read to enjoy while vacationing. The must-read book that everyone's talking about. But throughout the year, you can find great books and a whole lot more by visiting any branch of the Portsmouth Public Library. Recently, we dropped by the Churchland branch to find out what the library has in store during the autumn months. Throughout the year, going to the library, it's just a great place to go for finding great books, DVDs, doing research, doing genealogy research, joining reading groups, you name it. There's so much they have to offer. And I'm joined by Trish Little-Taylor, who is going to tell us what's going on here at the Churchland branch of the Portsmouth Public Libraries.
Well, we've got a lot of new things coming up. We're continuing a lot of the programming that we started this summer. Anyone's looking for a good movie, you don't need to go to Redbox. You can just come to the library. We have probably one of the best runs of first-rate movies, first showings of movies, anybody's in the area, and they're all free. And that's the neat part about it. You don't have to pay for them. You can rent them for 2 weeks, and so that's a great tool for you. Good selection of children's movies as well as adult and teen movies. We're setting up a new reading group for our youngsters. It's for 4th and 5th graders. We're going to be doing this starting in October. It's going to be once a month, and kids can come in and read a particular book and have a chance to chat and expand their knowledge of how to actually analyze a book. We've got lots of meet and greet things. We're doing one come November with some of the recruiters, so that people who would like to have an opportunity to find out what might be available if they're looking for jobs. We've got a new resume writing service here. It's called Cypress Resumes, and it's a free service. We can let you show you how to do it, and then you can write your resume up. You can save it, you can put it on your stick, you can email it to yourself, you can email it for a job. And you've got one that needs a little tweaking, it's already on the system. You can go tweak that resume and get it out to an employer, so hopefully you can get a job. We've got 18 computers here for adults, we've got 6 for teens and 4 for children. So we've got a lot of variety of things that we can do. We're looking into more programming, community-based programming, outreach type of stuff. So we have an opportunity to go out and into the community. Should they want to come, they can come and talk to us. We've got meeting rooms available for nonprofit groups, and that gives us an opportunity to find out what the community is looking for.
And I've just noticed you have this beautiful patio here. The weather is great. This would be a great place. A lot of people hit a Starbucks or someplace like that to plug in their computer, but this would be a great place to...
We also have 4 Wi-Fi set up so that people can use the Wi-Fi 24/7. And it's all free. You don't need passwords. If you're sitting here and you want to bring your computer in, your laptop, you can set up here. Along the walls on the inside of our library, we have plugs so that you can set up and you don't have to worry about using up all your battery.
Notice you have an Ancestry.com keychain on. Now, tell us a little bit what goes on here as far as genealogy.
We have 2 things. First off, downtown we have a genealogy discussion group once a month on the last Saturday of the month.
And this is the Court Street?
This is at Court Street downtown. We also have Ancestry, which is the library program. You can use it here at the library for free. Now, that's really a great advantage for people because to buy Ancestry on your own, it's about $400 a year. So, that's a great saving. And for those people working on Virginia families, Virginia has just released all of their birth, death, and marriages, their divorce information. It's all on Ancestry. So you can get that information for free here at the library if you're doing genealogical research. Now, coming up in September, we have another service called Library Card Sign-Up Month, which means you can get a library card. But if you've lost your library card for that time frame, you can get it for free. You can replace the library card. We're not going to be charging for the month of September. We're also starting a new service for our homebound and military using what we call the computer card. In other words, they don't have to come in to get the card. They can provide the information. They can get that card, and they can then use that to access our audiobooks, and other electronic materials. We have Overdrive, we've got One-Click Digital, which are electronic assets that they can use from their Kindle at home.
Wow.
So it's all there.
So if people want more information, can they go to a website?
Yes, PortsmouthPublicLibrary.org. They can get onto our website. They can access everything. It's also got a nice list of all of our activities that are upcoming, so they can see what's coming up and they can join and come and visit the library.
Well, thanks so much for joining us and telling us what's going on here. Be sure to check out the website and then come to the library. There's a lot here, a lot more than you think. I'm standing in front of the Elizabeth River Project's office, which is at the end of High Street on the waterfront. I'm joined by Casey Shaw, and your position is the grassroots
coordinator here at the Elizabeth River Project.
Okay, she's here to tell us about an annual event, Riverfest, and that is taking place in September.
Yes, it's going to be Saturday, September 12th on the waterfront behind Nauticus. This is going to be our 4th year doing the festival. That's free, open to the public. Coming down and enjoy a day on the river with us.
So what types of things do you have at Riverfest?
So everything is river related at Riverfest. This year, because we are going to be at Nauticus, Sail Nauticus is going to be doing free sailboat rides open to the public, so we're really excited about that. The Learning Barge, the Elizabeth River Project's floating wetlands classroom, is going to be there, open to the public. And the kids' favorite is probably the Living River Science Dome. Mm-hmm. That's where the scientists go out in the morning, they get all sorts of river critters, and then have them in tanks for the kids to see. And once they go through, they can do their own fish print that they can take home as a souvenir from the day.
Okay, and this is an all-day event, right?
It is. We start at 10 a.m. and then we go until 5 p.m. New for this year, we're going to have a grand finale party from 3 to 5 p.m. So during that time, Smart Mouth Brewing is actually debuting their first ever Oktoberfest beer at the festival for us. So we're really excited about that. And then hometown girl Sky Zentz is going to be playing during the closing festival as well.
Okay, now give us that date again.
It's Saturday, September 12th from 10 to 5 on the waterfront behind Nauticus.
Okay. Now, tell us a little bit about what the Elizabeth River Project is all about. What is your work? What are you out doing?
Certainly. We're a nonprofit organization whose goal is to increase the environmental health of the Elizabeth River through partnerships. We get involved with businesses, schools, local governments, as well as community members. And Riverfest is our biggest event of the year to really engage the general public, since we've got so many people that live here in the area, and just because you don't live on the river doesn't mean that what you do doesn't have an effect on our health.
All right, well, thanks for telling us all about Riverfest, and be sure to come out and support them this year. You'll have a great time. Next on Portsmouth Now, we'll look at special Halloween events coming up in October, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Doesn't see race. Love is love.
At our house, we really like to maximize family time. That's why our favorite place for family fun is Old Town Portsmouth. We love taking the ferry over, then strolling through unique shops filled with one-of-a-kind treasures. Next, it's on to a great lunch at an outdoor cafe and an afternoon of fun with friends at the Children's Museum of Virginia and the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame and Museum. Food, fun, and adventure? No wonder Old Town Portsmouth is our go-to destination for family fun.
This is your computer. Let's go in. Let's go. Okay.
She's gonna love me all over again. Now.
Jamaica, here you go.
Here we go.
Good job.
Welcome back to the September-October 2015 episode of Portsmouth Now. Virginia is one of the nation's most beautiful states during the autumn season. And here in Portsmouth, there's no better place to observe the natural beauties of the changing season than Hoffler Creek Nature Preserve in Churchland. Recently, we spoke to Helen Coons to find out what events are on the calendar for September and October. I'm here at Hoffler Creek Wildlife Preserve in Churchland with Helen Coons, and she's going to tell us what is going on in September and October, maybe a little bit beyond.
Okay, well, it's good to have you back,
Good
Rob.
to be here. We're on a floating dock.
We
so if the
are.
earth seems to move behind us, it's still, we're moving.
That's right. We're right here on Lake Ballard, which is the centerpiece of Hoffler Creek Wildlife Preserve. It's just teeming with life all of the time. This is one of the locations that we actually paddle with our kayak, one of our kayak programs. And even though it's September and kids are going back to school, we still have lots of kayaking season open. Through part of October, we'll be renting kayaks, and then we still have September 5th, we have a sunrise paddle that people can come out and actually paddle on Hoffler Creek. We have 2 sunset kayak tours that are coming up, September 6th and September 26th. And then we have what is always a really fun time right here on Lake Ballard is our full moon paddle. And we come out after dark, and the moon is full over the lake, and you just paddle in the quiet, and you can listen to the wildlife and really enjoy the tranquility of nature.
Are those popular?
They are very popular, and we only have one left this season, and that's on September 26th. And then our last guided paddle this year is October 3rd, and that's going to be an afternoon paddle on the creek as well. So we still have a lot of kayaking opportunities available, as well as other programs coming up.
Great. So what are some of the other programs?
Well, we have our regularly scheduled early bird walks, and those happen every second Saturday. So the next couple will be September 12th, October 10th, and November 14th. And then in October, because October is the cool, fall month, we have Bats of the World coming back. We had that before last year, and it was very, very popular. Bat World Hampton Roads brings out a variety of different types of bats, and you can see them up close. And she talks about the work she does with rehabilitating bats and trying to re-release them in the wild. If they're
rehabilitating, are they injured?
If they've
or
been
are they
injured,
criminal?
if they, no, just injured, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. Unfortunately, they've been injured. She does a great job of trying to rehab them and get them releasable again. She'll talk about how you can encourage bats, because bats eat tremendous numbers of mosquitoes, and nobody likes mosquitoes. So we want to encourage bats as often as we can. That is sort of leading up to some of our other fall activities. We do have a fall tree walk on October 24th. Mike Aheron, who is our local forester, will walk people around Hoffler Creek and talk about the trees that we have here, and look at the colors and talk about why the trees change color and the different types of trees we have in this area. And then, of course, the last Sunday before Halloween, we have our Hoffler Creek Fall Festival, which is a safe trick-or-treating event. And that's always a grand time because kids can come out in their costumes. They move throughout the preserve and go to different stations, and they learn about different spooky animals that might live at Hoffler Creek, say foxes and snakes, maybe some bats, things like that. Things that are really fun that time of year. They're fun all times of the year at Hoffler Creek, but we can talk about some things and they can learn about them, and they can also, get candy and have a good time. We usually do a hayride and a lot of different things. So that's good family fun.
So what time of day does that start?
That starts usually at 1 on that Sunday afternoon and goes until 4 when we close. And then finally, it's not in October, but in November, the first week, November 7th, we're having our oyster roast and barbecue out here, which is a fundraiser for us. The tickets for that are $35 a person. They're available online, and they'll be $35 a person through Halloween, and then after that they go up. So it really is good for people to get their tickets ahead of time.
So we got barbecue.
Yeah, barbecue. We'll have
oysters.
We'll have some local brews. It'll be a nice fun evening, nice fall fun evening. We'll have live music, cornhole. We'll be playing. We'll have a cornhole tournament, and it's just a lot of fun.
That is an evening activity.
It's a late afternoon, 3 to 7:30.
Okay.
That day. So lots.
Well, there's always lots going on
There
here,
is.
and it's great to have you on every few months to catch up and find out what's going on.
All right. Well,
thank you. So be sure to check out Hoffler Creek. It's a beautiful location, and as you just said, there's always lots of things going on. October in Portsmouth is filled with Halloween happenings, such as the annual Museum Madness event, followed by the Old Town Safe Trick or Treat on Saturday, October 24th. Museum Madness is a day filled with special Halloween events for the whole family, sponsored by the Children's Museum of Virginia, the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, the Lightship Portsmouth, and the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center. We stopped by the Art and Cultural Center to find out more about what they have in store for Museum Madness, as well as other special Halloween events they've scheduled for the month of October. I'm here at the Portsmouth Art and Cultural Center, and I'm joined by Stephen Granette, who is the assistant to the curator, and we're also joined by, what are they?
One of our friends here in the latest ceramic exhibit. This one is by Bill Pinkham, who's an artist in Carrollton.
He looks very pained.
Wonderful setting for this interview, I must
It
say.
is. And so speaking of pain, so what is going on here for the Halloween season in October? I understand there's some Halloween themed events going on.
Yes, we have a number of events for Halloween, one which is going to be rather early in the season, and that is because there is a horror community convention convening on the Tidewater area.
A horror community.
Yes, and so it just fits in at the best time in early October, the first Saturday, October 3rd.
Okay, and what is the horror community
Well,
doing?
we are going to be hosting a horror reading. Now, we did this last year with local authors, and these authors are regional. And they're a pretty big name. Craig Spector is probably the one best known. He wrote a book called Fright Night that you may remember was made into a movie way back in the 80s, and also did the screenwriting for Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay, so these authors are coming and they're reading their works?
They're going to be here reading short excerpts of horror fiction, and that starts at 7 o'clock.
On what day?
On October 3rd, Saturday, October 3rd. And we'll have, following that reading, a meet and greet session and a question and answer panel with the authors, also a book sale and a book signing. And it's a free event, so people can just come, and this is for adults and not the young or light of heart.
Stories are adult oriented, not children.
Be
Ghost
warned.
Stories. Be warned. So be warned, this is an adult event.
Use discretion.
But now, you do have children events happening,
Yes, we
and
do.
that's basically the annual Museum Madness.
Exactly. Every year we have Museum Madness. This year it's on October 24th, which is also the same day as the Old Town Safe Trick or Treat, which follows Museum Madness at 6 o'clock.
So what types of things happen here for Museum Madness?
Well, all the museums are going to be involved except for the Naval Shipyard Museum because they're getting a new lighting system. So the event is going to start at 10 o'clock. And it will go till 6 o'clock, after which the Old Town Safe Trick or Treat will commence.
Museum Madness, you come in costume, dress up for the day.
Yeah, you can come in costume.
Although you don't have to.
You don't have to, but if you're going to participate in the Old Town Safe Trick or Treat afterwards, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Yeah, it's going to be loads of fun. Like I said, the event's from 10 to 6. It's $12 a person, gets you into all the museums, and we're going to have a great time.
All right, well, thanks for joining us and telling us all about it.
Rob, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Excuse us. I'm sorry. He doesn't say much either.
He doesn't have to. The Virginia Sports Hall of Fame is also participating in Museum Madness. Here's someone to tell us what they have in store for the big day. I'm joined by Corey Gross from the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. Thanks for joining us, Corey.
No problem.
Now, what role does Virginia Sports Hall of Fame play in Museum Madness?
In Museum Madness, we have, if the children come in their costumes, they can receive admission for free that day in the museum.
Okay. That involves seeing all the interactive displays.
All the interactive
everything.
displays and everything.
Okay, does anything else happen?
That day we also have Old Town Business Association has their annual Safe Trick or Treat event, and what they do is they'll hand out candy free to the children, and we have live statues out here that day.
Okay, what's a live statue?
So a live statue is where they are bronzed up. We have people bronzed up in sports outfits, and they stand still for a long period of time. And some people think they're real statues.
Okay, and then they move and I guess startle everyone.
Yeah, sometimes. We try not to startle anybody, but it happens.
But it sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so be sure as part of Museum Madness, be sure to stop in at the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. Another Halloween event taking place on Saturday, October 24th is the annual Booyah 5K and Little Monster Fun Run in Port Norfolk. Registration begins that morning at 7:30 a.m. The Little Monster Fun Run begins at 8:30 and the 5K begins at 9. For more information, visit www.booyah5k.com. And on Friday evening, October 30th, don't miss the 34th annual Old Town Ghost Walk, beginning at 7 p.m. These ghostly tours run throughout the evening, beginning at the graveyard of the historic Trinity Episcopal Church on the corner of High Street and Court Street. For more information, log on to www.portsmouthghostwalk.com. On August 19th, the Coast Guard cutter Eagle sailed from Fort Monroe into Portsmouth. The event was yet another symbol of the Coast Guard's historic link to the city of Portsmouth. Portsmouth's annual Coast Guard Day celebration is one of the city's most popular fall events. Let's find out more about this year's celebration.
I'm Terry Danaher, and I'm on the Mayor's Military Affairs Committee here in Portsmouth.
I'm Lieutenant Commander Kristen Pecora. I'm the 5th District External Affairs Officer for the United States Coast Guard.
Several years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, we decided to go for becoming a Coast Guard city, an official Coast Guard city. And we put together an application, a small committee of us, and submitted it to Washington, D.C., where it was approved by the Coast Guard, sent to Congress, and Congress approved it, so we became an official Coast Guard city at the end of November 2009. And we've been celebrating that since then. The first year was in November. It was the first Saturday in November, and then last year we tried October. And this year, because we have now shifted to a run, we're planning a 5K run and a half-mile fun run for the kids, we shifted it to the first Saturday in November, which is November 7th. So the run is the first event of the day, and then there will be children's activities and food and music, a celebration.
We're really excited about the various programs that Portsmouth puts on throughout the year to support our Coast Guard men and women. And the Coast Guard celebration in November is no different. We're excited that they're so enthusiastic and putting on a great event, including a 5K and other events for children. And we really can't wait to participate and really thank them for caring about our Coast Guard men and women and making us feel a special part of their community.
This is a community event that draws together two parts of our community. One of them is the Coast Guard, which is a very significant part of our community. They're a part of our history from the get-go. Back in the late 1700s, there were what became Coast Guard vessels. They were revenue vessels, but they are part of the Coast Guard's history, and they were right off our shores. The cutter Virginia was right off our shore here. So we have a history that goes back to approximately 1791 or 2. And then we have the lightship here, the lightship museum here. We have all kinds of Coast Guard memorabilia scattered throughout the city. We have the beautiful Fresnel lens that sits right there on the waterfront next to High Street Landing. And as I said, we have the lightship Portsmouth, which is a museum, and it's a popular museum. So there are things here that remind us every day that the Coast Guard is right here with us. We are a central location for the Coast Guard, and we need to keep that in mind. It's part of our community, and we need to reach out and make sure that the people who are here with the Coast Guard feel a part of our community. So I would say come on down and become familiar with a good part of our community and a good part of our history.
That's it for our show today. To find out more about the events featured on today's programs, as well as other events taking place in Portsmouth, simply log on to www.portsvaevents.com and then come to Portsmouth, where if you give us a day, we'll give you a vacation. I'm Rob Lauer. Join me in November and December for another episode of Portsmouth Now.